Listen, we all get exactly the same amount of time. Exactly. Now here's something interesting. The sand in the bottom of the glass represents the past. The sand in the top of the glass represents the future. This is the way it actually is. You have no idea what's in the top of the glass. You only know what's in the bottom of the glass. Isn't that interesting? And you see, the only thing we've got anything to do with is what's right here in the center right now. Everything else is an illusion. It's a myth. It's gone. See, the truth is we don't know how much time we've got. But we know we're here and now. And the only thing we've really got is what's right here in the center. Right now. If we want to enjoy more of life, we've got to give everything we've got right now. Let's not plan, in the future I'll do it. Or let's not be sad about what didn't happen in the past. I started with nothing. And I built a company that operates all over the world for millions of dollars. And I've come to the conclusion that you and I are capable of doing whatever we can see. If we can hold it in our head, we can hold it in our hand. We've got to step out and do different. We've got to quit playing like this is a game. We've got to treat life like what it is. It's sacred. Yet we're capable of doing anything we want. But we've got to do it. It ain't going to happen for us. You see, I think this is very important we focus on this. Focus on right now, because that is all you've got. There isn't any past, there isn't any future. Now's it. That's it. When the sand's gone, it's gone. Now you see there's more sand in the bottom of the glass than there is in the top. Here, boom, I can turn it over. Now I got more sand in the top than the bottom. You can't do that with your life. I can do it with the sand timer, but I can't do it with my life. But I can be more effective now by making up my mind I'm going to be. And that's what I recommend you do. Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time we get all there is? It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're going to figure it out.
You decide what your goals are going to be. You place them in the calendar. Use the calendar as your friend, because what you want to do with the calendar is design a day that you want to have, or a day that would be good for you. And a day that would be good for you is one that you're when you end the day, you feel that you've moved yourself ahead towards your valued goals, and that you've kept chaos under control. And that enables you to sleep soundly and with a good conscience, and to know that the next day is going to be at least not worse than that day. Planning is unbelievably useful. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record with regards to the future authoring program, but it really is useful. You need to figure out what it is that you're aiming at and why, and then you need to figure out how you're going to break that down over the months and the weeks and the days. But I would approach your calendar like it's your best friend. You think, okay, I'm going to design a week, man, that I really want to have, and that means you can schedule in leisure and all the things that you want to do, which you absolutely should do. And it's also quite fun to give yourself minimal time to do something complicated, because it's quite challenging to see if you can do far more than you thought in far less time. And so that's a fun game. And the other thing you can do is, like, if you're avoiding something, you could schedule in 5 minutes of it and say, well, like, if you're avoiding looking at some bills because you're afraid of them, your first step might be to schedule in 5 minutes where you just look at the bill. You don't do anything else. And, you might be able to entice yourself into doing that. But I would say learning to plan is unbelievably useful to schedule your time, because that's your life, But schedule the life you want. That means you have to schedule your responsibilities obviously, because responsibilities are those things that ruin your life if you don't fulfill them.
If you make the wrong decision, if it's a two-way door decision, you walk out the door, you pick a door, you walk out, you spend a little time there, it turns out to be the wrong decision, you can come back in and pick another door. Some decisions are so consequential and so important and so hard to reverse that they really are one-way door decisions. You go in that door, you're not coming back. And those decisions have to be made very deliberately, very carefully. If you can think of yet another way to analyze the decision, you should slow down and do that. There are a bunch of decisions like that are, changing the decision is going to be very, very complicated. Some of them are technical decisions too, because some technical decisions are like quick drying cement. If you're once you make them, it gets really hard. Choosing which propellants to use in a vehicle. Selecting LNG for the booster stage and selecting hydrogen for the upper stage. That has turned out to be a very good decision. But if you changed your mind, that would be a very big setback. Do you see what I was saying?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of decision you scrutinize very, very carefully. Other things just aren't like that. Most decisions are not that way. Most decisions should be made by single individuals, but they need and done quickly, in the full understanding that you can always change your mind.
So you want to get to the resolution as quickly as possible because that ultimately leads to high velocity.
Yes, and you want to try to get as close to truth as possible. So you want, exhausting the other person is not truth-seeking.
Yes.
And compromise is not truth-seeking. So, it doesn't mean, and there are a lot of cases where no one knows the real truth, and that's where disagree and commit can come in. But it's escalation is better than war of attrition. Escalate to your boss and say, hey, we can't agree on this. We like each other. We're respectful of each other, but we strongly disagree with each other. We need you to, make a decision here so we can move forward. But decisiveness, moving forward quickly on decisions, as quickly as you responsibly can, is how you increase velocity. Most of what slows things down is taking too long to make decisions at all skill levels. So it has to be part of the culture to get high velocity. Amazon has 1.5 million people, and the company is still fast. We're still decisive. We're still quick, and that's because the culture supports that.
At every scale in a distributed way,
Yes.
trying to maximize the velocity of decisions.
Exactly.